And hello again. So today we're gonna do something that kind of sort of had the idea to do night before last. Yesterday was a rest day in my world. Excuse me, it was lovely. Have y'all ever had one of those days where you don't want to do anything? It's like I don't really want to watch anything, don't really want to play anything. I just kind of want to, I don't know, exist today, I guess. It's a lovely day to just exist in the world and not do a single thing. But that was my yesterday. Also, I've gotten really good at manifesting food, apparently. Can't manifest it? No, I'll take that back. Maybe food is easy. Food is quick to manifest for me. I'm like so good at manifesting food. I'll wake up. I'll be like, oh, I really want to eat this today. Or I want to try this. And then the day will progress and I'll get a text from my mom. She'll be like, hey, do you want this? And this will be the thing that I want. She'll be like, hey, do you want this? Or I'll just go out there and she'll be like, hey, I got this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the food that I've been wanting literally all day. So yesterday it was because I've been seeing so many commercials, the pretzel bun pub cheeseburger from Wendy's. And I was even talking with my brother about it earlier. I was looking at the menu and everything to see what came on it. And then I got that text. She was like, hey, you want some Wendy's? I said, yes. And it happens every now and then. I'm just like, can I get like $1 million or at least a sensible, $300,000? What is this? I ain't taking it, but. Oh, Destiny. So maybe I wasn't manifesting the food. Maybe I was just destined to eat it. I'm kidding. Destiny is divine purpose, passion, and service. And then trust is at the bottom of the deck. It is overcoming doubts, insecurities, and patience. So trust in your destiny. There's a 9 and a 6. And then attachment is below trust. So here's the attachment. I wish it was a 3 because then it would have been a 369, but it's a 269. So destiny and trust. I feel like that attachment, it's an attachment to the known. Excuse me. And that's kind of sort of what we're going to talk about. I feel like things have been a little harsh for Sagittarius on this channel lately. And I've been feeling a lot of Leo energy. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go look to see when the sun in Sagittarius is going to, basically when the sun is going to conjunct the South Node. I think a lot of that Sagittarian energy is because the South Node is in Sagittarius right now. And it's interesting when we progress through the zodiac, the theory and the theology comes before the foundation and organization. But the nodes move backwards, right? And so first we look at the organizations and the foundations, and then we look at the thoughts that they kind of sort of pump out. Not that they pump out, because let's say for some reason you have this organization that's all about clean water, right? And you find out that this organization is like shady and they've actually been stealing money. This is not based on a true story. And so for whatever reason, let's say South Node was in Capricorn, right? And so here's one of these organizations, let's say it becomes a global or whatever. It's big. And then you find out that they're doing something shady with the money. And then when the South Node shifts into Sagittarius, it's like, well, okay, so that organization told me that this was an issue and that they do this, and that. When it shifts into Sagittarius, it's like not only do we need to look at where that money is actually going, but we also need to look at if there's actually a problem. We need to question the rhetoric of the system. And that's what South Node Sagittarius is right now. Like, we've all been conditioned to believe these things by these organizations, these people, maybe even these governments. And we have to look a little bit deeper than just like, oh, this system is bad, that system is bad. We also have to look at what it instilled in us. That's why South Node is in Sagittarius right now. And it also explains a lot of that Hierophant energy lately. Lately, it's been months now. Pretty much all of 2020 almost. Anyway, that's why we have to look at the things that it teaches us and its codes of ethics and morals and stuff like that. It's deeper than just dismantling the system, because the system has already worked its way into the minds and the hearts of people. And that also needs to be observed, South Node Sagittarius. So it's going to happen on December 11th at approximately 8:25 a.m. Eastern, where we're going to have that exact Sun and South Node conjunction. Interestingly enough, Mars is going to be direct by that point, and Mars is going to be in an exact trine to the Sun when it conjuncts the South Node. So if your Mars retrograde ain't teaching you whatever, then by the time it comes to that, oh goodness, I don't know. But it's interesting because so the last date I looked up was November 10th. It was 11:10. And on 11:10, that's when the Sun is going to trine Neptune. Work. And on 12:11, and I think I had a friend whose birthday is 12:11. That's when the Sun is going to conjunct South Node Sagittarius, 19 degrees and like 50. No. Yeah, it's like 19 degrees, 50 something minutes. Let me see. I have it pulled up on my phone. I did it before I came live this time to save a little bit of time. So let's run through the planetary placements, shall we? Starting in Aries, 19 degrees, 44 minutes is Mars. Uranus is going to be direct. Uranus is still going to be retrograde, 7 degrees, Taurus. North Node is going to be 19 degrees, 58 minutes, Gemini. The moon will be 7 degrees Scorpio. So the moon is going to be in sextile. No, opposition. The moon is going to be opposing Uranus. Venus is going to be 24 degrees Scorpio. Mercury will be 15 degrees, 12 minutes Sagittarius. South Node and the Sun, 19 degrees, 58 minutes Sagittarius. The Ascendant is going to be 24 degrees Sagittarius. Pluto, 23 degrees Capricorn. Jupiter, 28 degrees Capricorn. Saturn, 29 degrees Capricorn. And Neptune, now direct, 18 degrees Pisces. So there's that Mars trine. Exactly. Oh, we already had that. We just had that the other day. It was at 22 degrees. And I talked about it. Mars was in an exact trine to the South Node, sextile to the North Node, square to Pluto, and roughly opposite the Sun. Now here's a second, or well, I guess technically it would be the third, probably. Well, yeah, it would be the third, technically. Trine of Mars and Aries to the South Node. So here's another opportunity. But the Sun is there. Oof. Don't ask me about the astrology, y'all. I don't know. I was just like, I think the Sagittarian energy is mostly the South Node. And then I was like, well, Leo is the Sun. So if I got Leo and Sagittarius, well, when is the Sun going to conjunct the South Node? December 11th at roughly 8:25 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. time, which is like a week before Saturn and Jupiter go into Aquarius and then conjunct. This is 5 days and 15 hours before Saturn crosses into Aquarius, and 1 week and 1 day. So 8 days before Jupiter crosses into Aquarius. So it's like what, the 17th and the 19th? The 16th and the 19th is when they go in, and then they'll conjunct fairly soon after that. So before the winter solstice, but after that eclipse. Right? Let's see. Because winter solstice is the 21st. Yep, okay. So we're just going to see what's up with those energies, I guess. So I'm going to shuffle this up. I'm using the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators, the Spirit Keepers Tarot, and the vice versa Tarot. That did not shuffle. So in this deck, I'm going to look before and after the Sun and Temperance. And then if I feel like it, because that was what? Was that 19 degrees? Third deck in the Sagittarius is the Nine of Wands energy. We'll see. We'll see what's up. But yeah, if we never look at or question these things while the South Node is in Sagittarius, it basically keeps us running the same circles that we don't need to run around in. The Star, the Healer, and the Emperor. Healer and the Emperor. Love that. What is that? Ooh, the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. The Dynasty and the Discerning One. I love that. But this ain't that kind of show. This ain't that kind of show. We ain't at that kind of rodeo. Oh, goodness. When I want y'all to talk, y'all don't talk. Bottom of the deck is the Blind Seer, Two of Swords, and the Grotesque, Five of Cups came out. So we got the Healer with the Emperor, the Two of Wands, or the Discerning One and the Dynasty, and then the Grotesque. Things that we gotta accept about ourselves. Gotta learn to love ourselves fully before we can learn to love another fully. Because if we don't love ourselves, then it puts a limiter on our capacity to be loved, honestly, and to love others, but more so to be loved. See, y'all don't ever talk like this. Death and the Journeyman. I feel like that's the end of that Journeyman cycle. Oops, coming to be. We're gonna look off the bottom. Bottom of the deck is the Kindred, Three of Cups, Three of Chalices with the Joined One, Two of Chalices, and the Discerning One, Two of Wands. Three of Cups, Two of Cups, Two of Wands. Into the Unknown just popped into my mind. Nothing about this is necessarily unknown, but everything about it is at the same time. And then we have Strength and the Moon. Oh, so yeah, Strength and the Moon card, Into the Unknown. Bravely and Brazenly. All right. Oh, wait. No, I'm looking for the Sun and Temperance. Yes. Now I got Defying Gravity stuck in my head. I think I'll try defying gravity. I'd rather defy. Gravity. I mean, I listened to the song fully for the first time, like, was it a week ago? I don't know what time it is anymore. You can't hold me down. Or bring me down. I don't remember. Okay, here we go. No, this was here. And then it was this, and then it was this. King of Wands, 5 of Swords, 9 of Chalices. The Wish Granted, the Hector, and then the Archangel of Glory. Hey, look, there's some Leo energy. King of Wands. Leo, Aquarius, and Pisces. Leo and Aquarius opposed, too. I feel like it's going to be really important to have that ego shed, because it almost feels like this energy of like, if you still have your ego, you're going to fight whatever this is. And it's not meant to be fought. Some battles are only won when you walk off of the battlefield. Because someone with nothing to lose, you know, when you have only to gain and someone else has nothing to lose, or when you only lose by fighting and someone else only gains by fighting, then there's nothing for you there. But your ego will convince you that you gotta say, face, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And it's like, or I could not. This is the vice versa, so I try to make sure I get, you know, the whatchamacallits in there. Am I gonna do this again? No. No. Yes. No. I guess I will. Sure. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it really does feel like it's time for us to begin to question some of the things that we didn't question in the past. And I think for a lot of what I've been getting of Sagittarian energy lately, that's where the issue is coming along. Because Sagittarius is too rooted in what it already knows. And Sagittarius is an expansive energy, but it builds upon the thoughts of others. Sagittarius isn't really original, at least not at the beginning. It's that higher education, it's that higher learning. This is what someone else said, this is what someone else did, this is the result of someone else's experiment. Now I will take what they did and I will build upon it. And that it's great and it's gorgeous for, you know, the furthering of knowledge and the furthering of information and evolution of knowing. But when there's something that the first person got wrong, but you continue to treat it as if it's ineffable, then that's where the issue is. Because you're building off, you're expanding on something that has a faulty foundation, something that's defunct at the very beginning, at the start. And maybe it was a product of the technology or the information at the time. Maybe there was no way for them to know whatever it is that we know now, but we have to keep that in mind. Right? So, I'm going to flip this half, and then we're going to give this another shuffle, and we'll cut it, and then we'll do it. But someone else said that this was true. Sorry. Okay, so we're looking for the Sun and Temperance. Well, luckily the majors have big old numbers on the bottom. Interesting. Oh, okay. We just we just got 3 majors. Hey, I didn't read the bottom 3. Well, here they are, the bottom 3. So we start with the King of Wands. It might be the Queen. Hold up. I mean, it's the back of all these cards. Literally all of these. So is that the queen? No, that is the king. I don't think I've ever seen the King of Wands in this deck, honestly, because this man does not look familiar to me at all. I don't think I've ever seen the King of Wands in this deck. But we're starting with that Leo energy, and the Leo energy has turned its back on us, and now we're in the dark. No sun for us. There's the sun. This is what we get when the sun is conjuncting that south node. And guess what? Seven of Swords, also in the dark. Yeah, the things that go on under the cover of the night. And then here's the back of the Strength card that came out after that. So there's some more Leo energy, but we're still at the back. Here's the front if you were curious. This is where we are. Now let's see. Oh, they're facing this demon. They're facing the devil. This is interesting. Because literally the next, well, not the next card. So there's the back of death, and then there's the back of the devil. So there's four majors: the back of strength, the back of death, the back of the devil, and then the back of the Hierophant. This is all those shady, underhanded dealings that Hierophant energy's been doing. The reason why we're dismantling everything in the first place. And again, Hierophant and devil energy, they're two sides of the exact same coin. It's Hierophant when we choose it, and it's devil when we feel like it's been forced upon us. But Hierophants come with devils, and devils come with Hierophants. It's like angels and demons. Can't have one without the other. Oh, come now. But this is interesting. Because you see the wings. So in the front of the devil card, the wings aren't necessarily like spread out. But on the back, they are. And then on the strength card, you can see that the lion and the woman, they're facing this demon up here. And both of their wings are spread out. But after we face this, we see. I don't know why. I'm on OBS today. I'm on OBS. Oh, goodness. After we face this devil, we get to exit Hades. We get to exit. We're done. Like, we're done with this. South Node was in Capricorn a year ago. Okay, it was like May. But still, we're done. We're done. But that only happens after we go through this transformation. With the back of the death card. There's no horse. There's no death. There's not on the front of the death card, like death is staring them in the face. On the back, they're sort of left to their own devices, and they get to choose whether they want to transform themselves or not. This is us having to fight our internal demons. And that's, I mean, with the sun conjuncting South Node Sagittarius, you may be faced with them in a way where you can't as easily run away as you did in the past. So if you weren't facing them up until 12/11, that may hit you. And then Mars is going to be exactly trining the South Node. So the thing that you want to do and the thing that you're inclined to do is probably going to be the thing that you shouldn't be doing. Because the trine is a much easier aspect than the sextile that Mars has to the North Node in Gemini. And then it's interesting because the Hierophant energy, Hierophant is the energy that validates marriages and unions. And then there's the devil energy that has the lovers tied up in the front. Interesting. Yeah, that's I mean, if that ain't facing your own internal demons, I don't know what is. And it's like this person is like, it's okay, Lion, I got this one. I got this one, Lion. Because I've been to the crossroads and I've dealt with death. And it's time to put this devil energy to rest. And after that Hierophant energy is the title card. Is the title card. So who knows what lies beyond that? We do get a clue. It's the end of the story, but is this another Goss Jarn Major? It is. And another ace! It's Ace, Major, Ace. The back of the Ace of Cups is after that title card, which is that connection, which is that fulfillment, which is that everything that you wouldn't be able to achieve and attain while subjugated by that devil Hierophant energy. Interesting. Hold up, wait. Hold it. Ooh, the Eight of Wands. Who are you? Oh, four. That's the Emperor. Okay. Yeah, so the Ace of Cups and the Emperor. I thought that was the Hermit for some reason. I don't know why. Because then the Hermit is right here after the High Priestess. The High Priestess and the Hermit are together. And there's that moon, the light and the dark, while the sun has its back turned on us. All the Leo energy is everything is flipped on the back right now. Like literally everything is on the back right now. I hear something on the front. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is on the front. And then it's coming up with the Three of Pentacles on the front and the World card on the front. So that Ace of, and look, everything after the Ace of Swords is front side up. There's the Queen of Swords. Here's the Six of Pentacles. Love that. Yes. The Two of Cups is on the front. Okay. That Ace of Swords really came and like literally flipped everything. All of these cards are still front side. Okay, now we go back to the back with the Fool and the Ace of Wands. See, that's that Mars. Mars is gonna be like, oh, I don't want to do the work. Doing the work is hard and it doesn't pay off. Divine's like, you know what? It's your choice. If you choose to miss out on whatever you have for you, we will honor that. Ba-da-ba-da-da. Ooh, there's a Queen of Wands. The front of the Queen of Wands. And we saw the back of the King of Wands. Well, she's coming out with that sun energy. Interesting. $14. Here's the Temperance. Ooh. Looking real South Node Sagittarius. And so we have the front of the Chariot and the back of the Knight of Cups. Oh, who was that? It's the back of the King of Wands again. He wanted to show himself again. So there's the back of the King. Here's the front of the Queen. Now, if I hold them like this, they're actually facing each other. Because, let's see. If I hold them like this, because it came out like this, right? The front of the Queen with the back of the King. But they're actually facing each other if I put them like one on top of the other. They're facing each other. That's why we see his back, but we see her front. Oh, wait. There we go. There we go. His back, but we see the front of her because he's facing her. He's fighting through his darkness to get to her. And he has to get through all of his internal demons. Because, like I said, if we can't fully love and accept ourselves, it puts a limiter on what at least we can accept from other people. And then they're trying to love into us that we're not loving into ourselves, and it becomes this thing that ultimately leads one to be codependent on the other. And like, I feel like we can be interdependent in a lot of ways, but when it comes to loving ourselves, no one else's love is a replacement for self-love. It just isn't. And it's self-love is something practiced. Just like love is an action word, self-love too is an action word. And I think that's what all this was about. Facing our internal demons. Ourselves, basically. And then after we do that, that's when we come into this Ace of Cups, where it's like it turns the fountain on. But there's something wrong with the wiring. There's something behind the fountain that's plugged up that keeps the water from coming out. And I feel like with this title card, it shifts everything. And I mean, that kind of sort of is Hierophant energy. I feel like more modern Hierophant energy is less, humans are damned and there is no salvation for you. Your only redemption lies in something outside of yourself. You are inherently damaged and worthless, and you only have worth in this or in that. Like, I don't know. That's not very self-loving language, if you ask me. But we have the back of the Knight of Cups. And then the front of the Chariot is coming. It's a coming. And that's interesting because we saw the Chariot yesterday. Wait. Yes. Yeah, we did. We saw the Chariot yesterday. And yesterday it also had fleshy sphinx-like creatures, right? Now on this one, they're not necessarily sphinxes. I don't think. Well, yeah, I think they are actually. They are sphinxes. So here's some more sphinxes. Don't look too close. She ain't got a top on. There you go. More sphinxes. Interesting. So, let's see. So here's the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords around the SKT, the angel. I feel like this is saying that forward movement only happens in the space of the ego death. And whatever it is that you're manifesting, it's leading to this ego death. And it's shooting you like right into it. It feels like you're going to get really, really, or we are going to get really, really, really close to something. And there's almost this energy of the eclipse. And I guess the eclipse literally happens 2 days after the sun conjuncts the South Node. I think the eclipse happens on the 14th. Yeah, because here is the moon in Scorpio. So yeah, like 2 days later, or 3, because this is the 11th. Well, let's see. I can go to the dashboard at this time and it'll tell me exactly. Yeah. So 3 days and 2 hours after that conjunction is a solar eclipse. And then after the solar eclipse, Saturn and then Jupiter moves into Aquarius, and then they'll conjunct in Aquarius on the 0th degree. Like before they even hit a full degree in Aquarius, they're already ready to conjunct. Jupiter is like, whoo, goodness. Saturn, I don't know how you do it. Well, actually, I do know how you do it because, like, you're literally almost the polar opposite of me. But it's good to be me. And not in Capricorn. Anyway, so yeah, this is the start. And it's interesting that this happens right before that eclipse. But it honestly feels like an eclipse energy because it's like we're moving so fast, we're almost there, and then all of a sudden, like, the sun goes dark. The sun goes dark. We feel like we're starting to miss out on things, or like it's like such an abrupt ending. It feels like something's been stolen. Then we have to face our internal demons. We have to decide for ourselves if like we're going to transform or not, because we've already been visited by death. We've already gone through Scorpio season by this point. We already went through Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and all of this. This is our decision to either take the healing that transformation offers us or not, because then there's the devil and the Hierophant. I mean, like, these could be things related to, like, generation after generation of people in your family falling to the same sort of whatever, right? Could be addictions. I don't know why mental illness just popped into my mind, but it could be anything. And then the title card. The choice is yours. You ain't got to do nothing you don't want to do. Oh, look, here's the King of Wands. The King of Wands was at the bottom of the deck at the SKT, and it was literally the first card in the vice versa. Interesting. And that's what this feels like. It feels like you're going all the way there, and then you hit this Ten of Swords moment. And this Ten of Swords moment, it's a chance to really put a cycle to bed. Like, for example, I'll use a personal example. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell what the future is going to hold, but December 11th is the day before or 2 days before graduation. And one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to graduate is because of all of the anxiety that I have around living in the world outside of college, where everything was right next to each other. It's just being open to the unknownness of the world, right? In school, you don't know necessarily how the next year is going to be, but you know you're going to take class. Next year is going to be the same thing, different faces, different classes. And so let's say I end up getting an opportunity to move somewhere away from family for a good job that I actually love. But in order to take that job, I'm going to have to close chapters, face my own internal demons that kept those dark night spaces so dark. And the title card there would be like, the decision is yours. Either you will take this opportunity that you are completely uncomfortable with, or you won't. Either you will live that best life or you won't. And if you don't, you're going to be the reason why you didn't do this. Because I've been prepared in every way for that time. I'm like, I know I talk like a big game, but like I got a lot of fixed energy in my chart. So I've had a long time to get to this point. A long time of continuous effort to reach this point. And so I'm not going to betray that, right? But again, that doesn't necessarily make the choice or the decision any easier to make, but it's going to be time for me to put that cycle to rest. The cycle where I self sabotage my happiness and success and expansion because everything is unknown and I don't know if, this is going to happen or if that's going to happen or whatever. I'm going to have to let go of some control, right? And I feel like I can sometimes. I feel like on the most part, I don't have control issues as long as it's like roughly structured, right? But everything is unknown outside of that. So, but that's my own personal space of darkness that I've been in the process of bringing light to. That I am currently in the like I am currently setting these things up so that literally in this time period is when things really begin to take off. And as soon as things take off with this Eight of Wands, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. I am terrified. But it would have to be something that I face. And with the card of Temperance, like this is what we've been doing that healing for. But if you've only been in the waiting side of Temperance, and if you haven't been doing any preparation, it's going to make it more difficult to do this. Now, again, some of this stuff could be happening well before. I mean, it's October now, so this is roughly in 2 months. Like a week short of 2 months or whatever. Excuse me. But that's what everything's been in preparation for. And then over here, what is this? The Four of Pentacles? Yeah, the back of the Four of Pentacles and the back of the Knight of Wands. This to me, it's running circles in your comfort zone. And we have the back of the Temperance card. Not even the front of Temperance. So if you just been waiting, if you just been waiting and waiting and waiting and not doing that stuff that you need to do, it's going to make ending this cycle more difficult. Because here's the Knight of Wands with the Four of Pentacles choosing to stay in your comfort zone. And all elements are present in the stone relief at the top. You see that? Kind of. A little bit of glare. All elements are present. When all elements are present, to me, it reads as a magician energy, and it reads as something that you've manifested, but you're more comfortable staying on the inside, looking on the outside. Facing that, goodness, with the back of the Knight of Wands, facing that darkness, but not going anywhere. Frozen in fear, even though your staff provides the light that you need moving forward. Your staff is that risen phoenix. This is the page. No, wait. This is the page. Girl, this is the Page of Wands. This the Page of Wands. Why did I think that was the Knight? Ain't no horse anywhere on that. That's the Page. Ain't even a Knight. Sorry. So yeah, this is definitely not, because like the front of the Page of Wands is like, ooh, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do it. Back of the Page of Wands is like, ooh, it's scary in the dark. I'd rather stay in my comfort zone. I'd rather stay at home and dream than live the life. It seems I'm too chicken. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's Four of Wands, back of the Page of Wands. Four of Pentacles, back of the Page of Wands. That's staying in our own comfort zone. Because again, here's the back of the Temperance card. Is this a big old eagle? It's an eagle. There's an eagle and a lion. Giving me real Scorpio and Leo vibes. Like how my voice just cracked. Also is the post that the Hanged Man was hanging from in the back. We have this sleeping lion that ain't going nowhere, and this eagle that's literally like on the ground. Like the eagle isn't even in the air because that transformation never happened. And the lion that was at the bottom of the strength card, it's like maybe next time, maybe in the next life, champ. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been talking since like what, March maybe? Of like, I really, really hope that whatever it is that we need to do this year to claim whatever it is that we're going to claim, I hope we do it. Because I really, really, truly feel that if we don't get that big break, or if we don't, like, if we're faced with our happiness and we lose it, it's probably going to be because of us. And then it puts us in this position to like blame ourselves and to get really, really critical of ourselves when that does like literally nothing to help us move any further or progress at all. But that's the energy. Sometimes you just gotta go. Sometimes you just gotta take that leap. Now let's come over here to the sun, where we have the Five of Wands and Judgment, the Contender, and the Apocalypse. Ooh! The Contender, the Warrior, and the Apocalypse. Now, 2020 has been fairly apocalyptic. I mean, the whole world didn't end, but the whole world was on, shutdown, and people are like, oh, it's this and it's that. And for some people, the world did end. I read a story or heard a story earlier in the lockdown that there was a couple who got sick, and before their test results came back, the husband took it upon himself to end both of their suffering, and then the test came back negative. I've heard a lot of dark things actually that I don't want to talk about. It was all just thrust upon me, and I was like, thank you for this information that I did not want to know. If this is what our conversations are going to be, I'd rather pass. But that seems to be a theme in my life lately. Patrick finding out things that he doesn't want to know. Because people can't just keep it to themselves. It's fine. It's fine. I am mature. I can handle these things. But I do not want to. The Contender and Apocalypse. This is us being in a position to hold our ground in this space of judgment. Samadhi? Is that the word? I think that's the word. Samadhi. Because I think I heard Flavored Vivid say it one day. I've always seen that word, but I've never known what it means. I think it's Samhadi. And she was like, it's the eye of the storm. And I was like, oh, well, that's what we're in the space of cultivating. Hey Siri, define Samhadi.
Okay, I found this on the web for Define Samhadi. Check it out.
Oh, there's an A and an Samadhi. Samadhi. The highest stage of meditation in which a person experiences oneness with the universe. Okay. Oh, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like North Node Cancer was a very opportune time to come into such a balance with oneself that you don't have to be in a meditative state to have that zenness and that calmness. And test it now. But even in the midst of chaos, you can still, it may be more difficult than when things aren't chaotic, but you can still navigate to that place in that state where you don't have to be in deep meditation to have that zenness and that calmness or that connection, I guess, to oneness or whatever. And it almost feels like with the contender and judgment, like this is the judgment. And it's not judgment that anyone else passes on you. Because it's like, when you take a test, either you pass or you fail. Either you get the answer wrong or you get the answer right. And there's no judgment. It just is what it is. You get scored and you get graded at the end of it. This was like a grading, more than like, it's a grading in a time of apocalypse. And look, there's another little lion. I told y'all Leo energy been coming through strong for some reason. There's that lion again. There's that lion looking at you. Like, did you pass? Did you pass? Because this lion is like, I can't fight this battle for you. Hello? This is your fight to fight. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look at what it is. It's the Nine of Wands. So I guess I don't have to go looking for the Nine of Wands after all. This is second deck in Sagittarius. This is the card I was like, I might go looking for the Nine of Wands. Well, it came out, so don't have to go looking for it. And the card before the Knight of Wands was the back of the Knight of Cups. Which is moving forward in that Zen 1 space. Moving forward from a connected space that will heal and soothe and balm any ache, pain, or worry, that will douse any fire and satiate your thirst for anything. This Nine of Wands, though, because here's the wounded warrior side of the Nine of Wands. We get the back of the Nine of Wands, which is actually beautiful. Because now he gets to turn his burden over. It's like he successfully stood his ground throughout the night. And a lot of times when we get Nine of Wands energy, it's like, I feel like it's a rising sun. Like we're nearing the end. If we could just hold out a little bit longer, then the fight would be won. And then there's victory. Almost feels like someone coming to welcome him to Valhalla. You have proven yourself on the field. On the battlefield. Lay your worries to rest, weary warrior. And there's a warrior right there, the sun card. I don't think we're supposed to make it out of this unscathed completely. But it gives you an appreciation for what you do for you in times of crisis. And what you do for you in terms of making your life better. Instead of being like, oh, well, this is everything that I knew before, and I'm just going to stick to this. I'm going to continue to try to make the best of a bad situation. Maybe thinking that I'm doing something revolutionary, but it's not. Sorry, Sagittarius. And that's why the South Node is there right now. Because it's time for us to do something truly groundbreaking, something truly new, and it's time for us to analyze and question most. It's like what needs to be looked at the most, analyzed the most, questioned the most are the things that we're the most sure of. Because then it's like, how are you so sure? Who told you this? How did you come about this information? Because all information comes from somewhere, unless you're getting it from that direct connect. And whenever we put out information, it's like 99,999 times out of 100,000. It's for a reason. It's for a purpose. There's a point. Even when there isn't an agenda, there is an agenda. And to treat that information as like cosmically true means that you may be playing into a game that you don't even A, know about, or B, want to play into, but you never question it. That's where the danger comes, because we're building off of a faulty foundation. That's why this Ten of Swords has to come in order for us, for this energy of expansion with the Eight of Wands and acceleration to be there. And then I did say earlier that there are some fights that are only won when you don't fight. Well, here's the Contender, and then here's Judgment. It's like this energy is offering you nothing but conflict, and then with the card of Apocalypse, someone's hands are outstretched. Like, nah, I ain't fighting. And maybe that's why the Lion is at rest. At least here. So it feels like there's this need to, and then I feel like this is going to clarify this, the Nine of Wands with the Queen of Wands. And in this deck, the Queen of Wands is like magical AF. She's like basically the magician. But she uses like natural magics. Like it just flows from her. And the world, the life force energy of like Gaia is just willing to cooperate with her. And last time I used these, the last card out was Magical Dimensions, and it talked about co-creative power, number 28. Well, here's the co-creator. It feels like there's something that we're not supposed to fight. It's like we let the energy wash over us because, oh, and then here's the Eight of Cups. Sorry, I don't like the Eight of Cups in this deck. Well, hey, talking about eclipses, and then the Seven of Cups is behind the Eight of Cups, with Justice behind the Seven of Cups. Exactly. This is the front of the Seven of Cups. Here's the Seven of Cups into the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups gives me real eclipse vibes up there. A little freaky looking, but it gives me eclipse vibes. Walking away from these non-options, because with the Justice under it, we know we have a better idea of what's good for us. And here's the Chariot. It's the front of the Chariot, right? Because by this point we've resolved our light and our dark, which is what I've been talking about at least for a hot minute. We've resolved our light and our dark, and so these fights we don't have to fight anymore. Whatever would prey on our ego and like try to rile us up again, like I said in the beginning, we only stand to lose, and the other energy only stands to gain. So here's the Ten of Swords, death of the ego. Here's Judgment with our hands outstretched instead of, I don't know, in a fist to meet this Contender, combative Five of Wands energy. And it's like we stand in our peace. We stand in our power. We hand the burdens off to Spirit, because these are things that we don't have to worry about. Like, we've done all of our worrying. We did that. The worrier, we've done that. Going from the worrier to the warrior. Warrior. And warriors know when they don't have to fight. Right? I mean, Mars is in retrograde right now. And Mars is going to be making an exact trine to the south node and the sun when that conjunction happens. Now, Mars after retrograde may be like super gung-ho, like, I've been ready to make this move, let's go. What is this? Is this Mars in Sagittarius? No, it's Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is actually going to be in Scorpio still at the time. No. Mercury is going to be 15 degrees Sagittarius. Mercury is going to be like 4 degrees away from the sun and the south node when they conjunct. Mercury is going to be right behind it, and then in a few days, Mercury is going to conjunct the sun. before it surpasses it, because Mercury is quick like that. No. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it's going to be Venus and the moon in Scorpio. Mercury is going to be in Sagittarius. Yeah, Mercury is 15 degrees Sagittarius when the sun in the south node are 19 degrees Sagittarius. Basically 20, because it's 19 degrees and 58 minutes. But yeah. So who is this? The moon in Gemini? Oh no, this is sun in Gemini. Oh, that's such an interesting aspect. This is so interesting right here. Here's Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is going to be in Sagittarius. Swift communication. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. Here's the sun in Gemini, but the sun is actually going to be opposing that in Sagittarius. But this is the third decan of Gemini. And when this conjunction happens, the sun is going to be in the second decan of Sagittarius. So the nodes are going to be coming out of the third decan when the sun is heading into the third decan. Just don't let it set you back. I feel like we have so much to gain by maintaining that peace and that centeredness. And then the card of emergence, number 11, creation, resurrection, and magician. I've talked about the magician. I've talked about creation, especially when it comes down to here. And resurrection, maybe that's what the back of death is about. Maybe. Are these two pillars or are these two towers? Oh yeah, these things, they're dead. I never caught that. They're dead. Look how gray they are. Yeah, they've lost all the color in them. Oops. They've lost all of their color. They're dead. But it's like they have to offer what they've learned to be resurrected. One of them has a skull. The other one has something that looks like a vial. Some kind of alchemy. They did. They did. I never noticed that. And they both have facial hair. I mean, I guess I can't see how much facial hair. Well, no, because look. If we look at the profile, well, maybe not. I feel like I'm really trying right now. Yeah, okay. So look at the facial hair on the back. And if we look at the profile, there's no, like, it doesn't look like they have any sideburns or anything. And again, it's probably super blurry. But that, to me, it reads maturity in this space of darkness. I feel like this is that sun that burns and blazes in a second sky. But to make that transition, we have to offer something. Offer a piece of knowledge. Offer that it's like when you go back to school or over summer vacation, you have to write that essay. What I learned over summer break is, or whatever. Or it's like that episode of SpongeBob where Mrs. Puff is trying to just like get SpongeBob out of class. So she was like, extra credit if you just write this 10-word sentence. What I learned in boarding school is blankety blankety blank. If you can fill in the blanks, I will give you permission to go and get your license, even though you failed every single test. But it doesn't matter. If you can tell me what you learned, if you can tell me what you learned, you can get it. You can get it, even though you failed every single test. If you can tell me one thing that you learned in this class, I will let you get your license. And he struggled to find 3 words to fill in those blanks, and she made it so easy for him. Now he ended up getting his license, and she ended up regretting it because he's not a great driver, but that's fine. That wasn't the point. The point is blankety blankety blank. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But it is going to be a time to it feels like a time to accept the things that we've done. And it's going to be easier to accept the more work that you've done on yourself. It's like I've been saying, like, if you can't love yourself, then it puts a limit on the amount of love that you're able to receive. Maybe not the amount. It puts a limit on the depth of love that you're able to receive from other people. And so, too, it's like, I feel like there are these beliefs that we hold about ourselves or about the world, beliefs that need to be questioned, South Node in Sagittarius, beliefs that we're not just accepting as true anymore. There are these things that we need to question, analyze, work through, because if not, it's going to prevent us from taking this step and taking this opportunity when it's presented to us. So, emergence. Again, this is creation, resurrection, and magician. This image is connected with the prism color ray. Emergence resonates to the magical magician creative energies. These energies are powerful and strong. With the vibrations of all things possible, creation and the energy to create is core to the very soul. It is merely to recall the wisdom of this, and in challenging situations, to be able to clearly define how to transform from one form into another effectively and wisely. The energy of creation can be harnessed and utilized for the highest good for all, but can also be coveted for alternate purposes. Choose the highest vibrational pathway. The oracle interpretation is, you are at a reinvention point. You are a magical being able to transform anything you wish. Remember who you are. It's wise to have clarity of intentions in your creative endeavors. Also, be careful of trickster energy in your life. You or this situation are due for a fresh start, but it's all for the best. We have Merlin Stone, interesting, and Ruby as the companion crystals, and Lime as the companion essential oil. And I feel like, was that something? I'll read it one more time. It is merely to recall the wisdom of this, and in challenging situations, to be able to clearly define how to transform from one form into another effectively and wisely. And here's the challenging situation. And here is something magical, because she's got the whole tree of life in her hands. Now, in the majors, this is the first time. And then the 10 of Pentacles came out with the 2 of Wands. Wisdom, discernment, it was the discerning one, and the dynasty. 2 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Orbs also has a completed tree of life. But this is the first time in the major arcana where we see the tree of life complete. In the Lovers card, we have the first 9, but Malkuth is off in the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But it's complete here, which to me means that we've already gone through the space of making those self-honoring choices. where we choose more wisely, where we don't take everything with this Five of Wands contender just because we can. And so I'm going to end this by looking at the I Ching, because I love reading the I Ching. Let me fix this before I do that, so I don't get confused. And that's what this is about. I feel like this is that, because I've been feeling like that, like Leo energy is like, hey, this is something that might keep you stuck when you're in this period of expansion, but you can't expand with certain things locked in your orbit like this. And then with Sagittarius lately, it's been like, we're creating these things, but we're not pouring any life into it. Whatever we're putting into our body to feed the baby is already dead. So the baby's getting absolutely no nutritional value because you're not giving yourself anything of nutritional value to you. So what's the baby supposed to take from that? And it's been the Ten of Swords and the Empress has kept coming up around Sagittarian energy. Kinda. Just in general. What did I say? I Ching. Alright. And then I get to work today. Get to work today. I gotta get to work today. Right here, right now. I'll love again. I've already found someone. Today, right here, right now. I'll love again. I've already found someone. Okay. Who is this? The Ten of Swords. So this is going to be, what came out first? I think the Eight of Wands came out first, and then the Ten of Swords was still in my hand. I'm pretty sure that's how that worked. I'm pretty sure. I put the card before, and I put the card after. Yeah. So this is going to be Lake Over Thunder. Lake Over Thunder is number 17, inspiring others on the Sagittarius side. We'll see what this is about. How did it go all the way up to 33 that quick? Something about, and then there's number 22, and we've already seen number 11. So, hey, something about master numbers, y'all. Inspiring others. To lead, first you must serve. A follower becomes the leader. Followers must come to you by their own volition. You cannot secure them by force or cunning. Force them, and they will resist. Serve them, and they will serve you. Reward loyalty with generosity. Trust in your own excellence. The leader acts with logic and detaches from emotion, but inspire your followers to act with emotion and detach from logic. Adapt to the circumstances. Change and perseverance bring you prosperity. Unlikely folk become your allies. Diversity is how you accomplish your objective. I feel like that's very Sagittarian. Diversity is how you accomplish your objective. This is twisty. I don't like this. The leader acts with logic and detaches from emotion, but inspire your followers to act with emotion and detach from logic. So you act from this. That sounds so manipulative to me. You detach from your emotion and you lead with logic and you convince other people to abandon their logic so that they're emotionally available to be puppeted by you. Okay, I don't know. But this is on the Sagittarian side and the South Node is there right now. And we did see Devil energy and Hierophant energy. So, do with that information what you will. Now let's look at Judgment and the Contender. That's weird. That's weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. I really don't. But maybe there's good in it somewhere, just not today. Okay, so Judgment and the Contender. This is going to be Thunder over Fire. So that was Lake over Thunder. Now we have Thunder over Fire. Thunder over Fire. Thunder over Fire is opulence. Number 55. No, 50. Yeah, number 55, opulence. There's another master number. Only one we haven't seen is 44. Should we go read it? I know what opulence is. Be careful not to let abundance devolve into opulence or something like that. And I went way too far. Okay. Here we go. There's number 60. 57, 6, 5. Abundance to opulence, height of advancement. Honor bestowed. There is progressive movement and there is clarity in the mind. You are in a position of great influence. Well, here's the leader. Here's a position of great influence. What's that? You rise like the sun at the highest point in the sky. Be mindful when abundance becomes opulence. When abundance becomes opulence, the king will fall. And we saw the back of the king, so probably be careful of that. Every age of enlightenment comes to a decline. A period of tremendous power is upon you, but bear in mind that this too shall pass. Embrace the tides of change, come what may. Every age of enlightenment comes to a pass. And we saw the back of the king, so, excuse me, maybe at one point, old energy, or current energy, soon to be old energy, was abundant, and it was great, and it did a lot of stuff for the world, right? When people stopped, I don't know, killing people or whatever, when it brought laws into lawless places, but when it got drunk on its own power and on people following it, then it twisted some things, and it corrupted it over time, slowly, probably not all at once. But now there's a need to revisit, reanalyze, and rework. Hey, look, there's a page of wands. Now it's the front of temperance. Hey, the front of temperance with the back of the page of wands still. But it's going to be the front of the page of wands because, boop, I flipped it. Work. Well, now we get the back of the ace of swords. Oh, look, there's an eagle in the sky. I think that's the eagle. Yeah, the eagle with the wreath. Eagle with the wreath in the sky, because temperance is up right now. So, that eagle ain't just chilling behind this lady. Energy of Scorpio just sitting there like, it would be really nice to transform something. And the Leo was like, yeah, I'm getting real hungry, and I don't usually eat eagle, but you ain't going nowhere. So, I might try it today. Leo and Scorpio square, right? They're both fixed signs. Oh, that's a whole bunch. Final message from the vice versa, please. I kind of hope that title card comes out low key. Low key, low key. Oh. Maybe I go too high. There we go. Oh, is this a magician? Oh, well, he's on the side. He's on the side. He was more reverse. And the Nine of Wands. No, it's the Wheel of Fortune with the Nine of Wands. And the top of the deck is the Sun card. But this time, it's the front of the Sun. Oh, it was the front of the Sun when we saw it. What's the back of the Sun? No, it was the back of the Sun when we saw it on the table. It's the front of the Sun card now, with the back of the Eight of Wands behind it, and Pegasus is coming in. Now, in this deck, Pegasus either brings karma, like karmic justice, or karmic rewards. If you did good, Pegasus is bringing you good quickly. If you did bad, you know what they say about karma, but she's only like that when she has to be. But the Sun at the top of the deck. But the Sun kissing my face. There's no way that I can lose. And the Sun that I crave your embrace. Okay, anyway, we got the Nine of Wands and this Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune was on the side. Using OBS today. Wheel of Fortune was on the side. It feels like an energy of us giving up. And because we've given up, it's like the wheel stops turning in some way. Or it slows down, okay? The wheel that we want slows down, and the wheel that we don't want speeds right back up. Because we're not holding the line. And it's like, there's this near completion energy. Is this the back of the wheel or the front of the wheel? Oops, wrong card. Now even off camera, I'm confused. This is the front of the wheel. This is the front of the wheel. So we're looking at the back of the wheel. This is things turning in ways that are unobservable. But the magician stands atop this wheel with the Ankh, which is a symbol of life. And we saw the Queen of Wands, who creates, she extends her life force energy out, and Gaia just works with it. But it's happening in ways that we don't see, and because we can't see it, it's making standing our ground more difficult. But again, we saw that earlier on 12/11, so I don't know. Do with that information what you will. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. But it's the back of the Three of Swords. What's behind this? Oh, the Queen of Swords. Oh, but it's the back of the Queen of Swords. She ice cold. And then Death, the front of Death. So we have the front of Death coming to transform, to warm up this oh gosh, I'm not gonna say that. To warm up this Ice Queen's heart. Ice Queen is number 22, another master number in the magical dimensions. But as it melts the ice, it causes the rain to pour down. Melted ice is water, right? But it's cleansing. Because when it's frozen, it can't go anywhere. But now, at least, it'll be able to go into the ground and to go towards raising new life, I do want to read the back of it. Oh, Three of Swords really quick, though. Really quickly. The Three of Swords. Three of Swords. I play Shield and Sword. Wands, Swords. Here we go. Three of Swords. I'm not going to hold it up because I need both hands to read, to hold this book open. A knight sits. Yep, I'm going to hold it up. Even though I said I wasn't. I'm going to do it because, oh, goodness. I didn't even see that. I didn't even notice the knight. That just gave me a little mini heart attack. Almost lost a bunch of cards. Can you even see this? Maybe. A knight. Oh, see, I shouldn't have did it. There we go. A knight sits bareheaded in the rain, contemplating the sword-pierced shield. The rainwater is gathering in pools that encroach upon the scene, flooding the low-lying surroundings. Behind the shield, unseen by the night, a blue chrysanthemum rises from the stones. When you get this side in a reading, the knight may be the one whose sword is pierced, or he may be mourning a lost comrade, or perhaps regretting his own part in this action. Oh. Your circumstances will tell how to interpret this presence here, but clearly there is sorrow, betokened by his disregard for discomfort as the rain pelts down on him. The chrysanthemum is a funeral flower, representing both grief and hope for an afterlife. Earthly chrysanthemums do not come in blue, so this is a symbol of the spirit's endurance. Ooh, the spirit's endurance. I love that. Talking about the afterlife, a happy afterlife. We saw the back of the death card where they're trying to get a little bit of some rebirth action. You know what I mean? It's like I've learned my lesson. I'm ready for the new cycle now, please. I'm ready for the new. Here it is. I was like, where is this book? Our box. I love that. I love it. But you gotta grieve. You gotta allow that grief to happen. Yeah, let's not put that. Because, we're halfway there. And the sun is at the top of the deck. Right there. Just right there. It's right there for all to see. Sun energy for you and me. But you gotta take it. Now let's see what the SKT has to offer as closing remarks. And again, I talked about that yesterday, didn't I? That in order for healing to be complete, we have to look at the way that we affected and impacted others while we were hurting. Because hurt people hurt people. And if we were hurt, even if we don't hurt, but if we were hurt, there's a good chance that we hurt people. And the excuse of, well, I was hurt and this person did that to me and blah, 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 it doesn't matter. If you don't accept the part that you play, then you never get out of that role, right? You got to play it to its fruition or whatever. You got to complete the contract. And if you're so selfish and self-centered that you never look at how you hurt other people, well, gonna be stuck for a while probably until you see it. And if you do start to feel it, it ain't necessarily to get extremely down on yourself. It's just to, don't do that anymore in the future. Hey, this was not cool. What if we don't do this? That'd be real cool. It's part of the healing process, is what I'm trying to say. Let that ice melt. Feel it. Let it in. And then we saw the front of death. So, because the front of death was behind the Queen of Swords, the back of the Queen of Swords, where we saw her throne iced up. Final card from the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, please. Ooh, the Champion, 6 of Wands. Okay. There we go. Well, this deck gave me the title card. Spirit's like, oh, and look at the bottom. What's behind it? Ooh, I love this energy. Okay. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Discerning One, Sacred Cinnabar, and the Chancellor. 2 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and Justice. Behind Justice is the Initiate, the brand new beginning. Look at that. That discerning one. Use wisdom. Wisely transform one thing into another. Using wisdom. Ace of Swords and the Chancellor, Justice. It has to be justified. And a lot of times, you being hurt isn't justification enough for hurting somebody else. Sorry, it just isn't. Furthering cycles that you have the ability to put an end to, but you choose not to because your own feelings are hurt. it's a human thing, but top of the deck is the dark horse, standing strong in the darkness. But with this card right here, the rest is still unwritten. I don't think anyone is necessarily fated or destined to make it to the other side. I think we're all fated and destined to make it to this point where we're faced with this decision. But what we do is up to us. I think that's why Spirit's a little hands off right now. Because it's important for you to know why you make this choice or decision, rather than for this choice or decision to be made for you. Because when you come into the new space, it's like, if we can't even trust you with a fish, how are we going to trust you with a dog? Right? Because the fish don't go nowhere. Fish ain't getting into trouble. Fish ain't running away. Fish is always there, and you see fish every day. You can't take care of fish. How are you supposed to take care of a dog? How are you supposed to take care of a baby? How are you supposed to take care of a life? When you can't even resolve these minor conflicts that you have within yourself, how are you supposed to come to anything greater? And there are some traumas that are more severe, but at the end of the day, it's like, if those things drive us, then there will always be these places that we can't go. And coming into these new cycles, it's going to involve some places that you probably wouldn't be comfortable with going to. And that's why the Ten of Swords came out with that Eight of Wands. Because we got to put that stuff to bed in order to move forward. Unfortunately, it'd be like that sometimes. So, final card from... Ooh, is that Exiled? It is Exiled in Dreamscape. Okay, that's interesting energy. Final card from the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators, please. Final message. Final message. I love these cards. And they shuffle so much easier than they did when I first got them. They would like stick together a little bit. They're very glossy. Maybe that's why. I like gloss, but matte just feels better. Matte feels sophisticated or something to me. I don't know. There we go. Is that oneness? Oh, it is oneness. Okay, cool. Bottom of the deck is transformation. Here we go. Transformation and oneness. 41 and 30. Oneness is balance, patience, and divine masculine. Transformation is metamorphosis, synchronicity, and the unexpected. Transformative oneness. I feel like this is a need to transform the way we look at oneness. Honestly, call me biased. But it's also the transformative power of oneness. When you look at things from a perspective of meant to guide you in one way or another. And maybe, honestly, just meant to keep you from repeating a mistake. Or to keep you from doing something to someone else that was done to you. Right? Let's say, for example, you suffer some kind of childhood trauma based on how you were raised, and whoever did it to you, maybe it was done to them, and it goes up the chain, so no one really... They know that it's not right, but they don't see anything wrong with it, because in their mind, oh, this is just how it is, right? This is the way the world works. Not necessarily the case. But let's say that you have a child or a young person, someone impressionable, someone that you're in charge of that comes into your life, and you don't know how that person will handle or respond to what you went through. And let's just say for whatever reason, it would be so important for that person to not have to experience the same trauma that you experienced. So in order to keep that from happening, here's a bunch of stuff that you need to do to counter all of the stuff that was poured into you. You got to find a way within yourself to invalidate that stuff, because if you don't, you're going to repeat it. because that's how it works, right? We try to ignore things and we try to push it away and we try to say, oh, I would never do that and I'm not like that. But if you really look at your own actions, you kind of sort of already are exactly like that. Now, if your ego steps in and you're like, oh, well, I'm justified in me being like that because I suffered at the hands of whoever, and that's why I'm like this. It's their fault that I am doing these things. It's not my fault that I use my free will to perpetrate the same disastrous and traumatizing things that I experienced onto other people. It's like, okay, you got to work on it, basically, at the end of the day, because if you don't, I feel like it's going to make it hard to get to some of the places that you want to be. But that was a look at 1211. Just that Sun conjunct Sagittarius energy, South Node, it's coming up, and Mercury's going to be right there. Mercury is going to be right there, just 4 degrees behind, while Mars is in exact trine to the South Node, exact sextile to the North Node. So it's going to be an opportunity for some expansion, but it's going to be a lot easier to do that thing that keeps you stuck in the same cycles. I want to look and see what else is going on, because I think Libra is going to be empty. Yep, Libra is going to be empty. Let's see. Anything in Cancer? Nope. Nothing in Libra. And Pluto is going to be 23 degrees. So that's going to be before Mars has another direct Pluto square. But that's like 4 degrees away. So, don't know. I don't know. It'll be real interesting. And then Neptune is going to be a degree out of order. No, it'll be approaching. So that's going to be approaching a Neptune square to both of the nodes as well. Because the nodes move backwards and Neptune moves forwards. So, I don't know. Interesting times. I hope y'all have a good whatever whenever y'all see this. I hope y'all are acting in alignment to continue to make the best possible case your reality. Because if you don't do it, nobody else will. And it's hard and it's difficult sometimes, but someone's got to do it, right? Because if not, it just goes undone. And that's not great for anybody.